locals. Locals. I'm done playing Blitzclick at locals. Just kidding. For now. There's a regional coming up in my area, and I decided to make myself sad and learn Elfnotes. I say sad because I've been playing that deck for a day and I already don't feel like the Ritual Light and Darkness deck is my op anymore. The meta makes me sad. But we're gonna take Elfnotes. We're gonna try Elfnotes. And see, I got absolutely, oh, you got my bag? Oh, thank you. Absolutely wrecked last locals with Blitzclick, if you saw. So, we're gonna try again. Oh my goodness, it's me from the future. So if anyone is in the southwestern region of the United States of America and wants to come to the New Mexico regional that's happening on August 1st, you should totally do that because I'm planning on going. And because of that, I want to learn Elfnote. I love Fairy Tale. I feel my most confident on Fairy Tale, but I'm admittedly getting a little bored of Fairy Tale because I've been playing it so much over the past few months. And Elfnote's one of those decks I have wanted to learn. Along with being interested in Elfnote, I am so interested in Blitzclick. I just feel like it does so poorly against specifically ritual decks. Leo is playing Blitzclick, so he will be our tester of how it does against Elfnote. I think it does well against Elfnote. I filmed playing against my boyfriend who literally went undefeated for our Chaos Origin release on Elfnote, and Blitzclick did not do nearly as bad against that deck as it did against the ritual deck. So anyway, I went ahead and I specialed Lucina, activated Lucina effect. Thank goodness there wasn't an Ash. I searched the Regina. Regina sent the Lucina to special summon herself. When she special summoned to the middle zone, I'm going to be able to special summon from deck. So I specialed the Baby Burb, sent the Baby Burb and Regina to make Strelitzia, which then triggered Regina and Baby Burb. Baby Burb is going to let me add an Elfnote to hand. I added Tinia, and Regina is going to add herself back to hand. Regina on summon does nothing. That's something I need to get better about playing Elfnote, saying anything on summon, because Regina's the only one who has an on summon effect. So Tinia, Crackle does have to wait for a monster effect to be activated. So I activated Tinia to place the spell. Crackle does not negate, but it is going to pop. So Crackle went and popped the Regina, but the Welcome Home still welcomed home a Fortuna. Use Fortuna to place the trap. Strelitzia to go ahead and summon back the Baby Burb. Okay, I've been learning Elfnote on Omega, which when you click on the monsters, it tells you their level. So I don't have to do this stupid counting thing where I'm like, what level is everything? I haven't played a synchro deck. I played Pearly. I played Yummy, which is not a synchro deck. No one tell me it's an actual synchro deck. I promise you it's not. It's a fake synchro deck. Malice, right? I haven't played synchro decks. So then I end up using the Regina effect during Leo's draw phase to hand rip him by summoning Tinia and switching Tinia to the middle zone. So when I ended, I had Crystal Wing up. And I also, looks like I still have the Fortuna up in order to bounce a spell. And then I have the trap. The Elfnote trap is an Omni Negate if you control a synchro after, like, it checks after the summoning. So you can summon a synchro from grave. During the draw phase, I've been doing Leo even said, he goes, "You're going to hand rip me?" I'm like, yeah, I'm going to send the Welcome Home off of Regina, realizing I should keep the Welcome Home when playing against Blitzclick because it does protect the center monster from destruction. So I definitely would have sent, I think, the Fortuna instead, but I kept the Fortuna up in order to do exactly this. So Hideout is activation, and then activation is search, but because it is a field spell, it has to remain on field in order to resolve. So I'm going to go ahead and Fortuna. Leo tries to chain Crackle. Crackle is only on your opponent's turn when they activate an effect. He did the Pot of Extravagance, and I think this was the game where, like, I cut his extra deck because I was like, what am I doing with this? He's like, you banish 6 cards. I was like, do I get to look at them? He goes, it's random. And I was like, oh, okay. So the pot cards, Pot of Sloth, Pot of Extravagance, Pot of Opulence, Pot of Delusion, all the pots, every pot you can think of, does pretty well in Blitzclick because a lot of it is trying to draw into more, I guess, just like engine, just more ability to do things. You need to get one pop off with a Blitzclick monster in order to make Whisker live, and Whisker is such a difficult one to deal with. So I had set a Called by the Grave, I guess that's better than the Rhapsodia getting popped. I'm wondering if I should have Rhapsodia. I'm actually looking back at this and I'm wondering if I don't think I used the Rhapsodia negate yet, and I feel like I should have done that on Grain. I couldn't have. That's right. Rhapsodia is just able to negate a face-up card. So Crackle saw the pop, and then Grain saw the pop of Surge. I go ahead and try to June Pride. I honestly probably just should have let June Pride up, because June Pride says that you can only attack with center monsters. And if I'd had Welcome Home up, then June Pride would have been protected. I do send the Regina, I do send the Power Patron, so I am able to search and add back. So at this point, Whisker is live, and that is the biggest issue with the Blitzclick engine. Like, I feel like if you're playing against Blitzclick, you do not want to let a Blitzclick something pop something. You don't want to let it pop anything, because once you allow it to pop something, Whisker's going to be able to special himself. I probably should have, and I get why Leo went for the Crystal Wing with the Surge. I had to negate it just in order to not let it be popped, because now I have literally nothing for the Whisker. I'm looking at my hand and I'm like, if I Regina send something, it's just gonna get destroyed. So he specials 2. He's gonna get rid of the Crystal Wing and the Trap. See, at this point, I don't think I had done the oh, okay. This was, sorry, my bad. I'm watching this back and I'm like, wait, June Pride says you can only attack with the middle. So, whoopsies, that was my bad. Elfnote June Pride, he should have only been able to attack in with the Crackle, and he wouldn't have been able to beat over it with the Crackle. So that's on me for not fully reading my cards and not knowing what the cards do. So this game obviously would have gone, probably a lot different, because he wouldn't have been able to beat over the June Pride. But had he known that the June Pride did that, I'm curious if he still would have done the Trap and the Crystal Wing. Probably. So Emmy's going to go ahead and get added to hand from Alternator. That's going to go ahead and trigger the Emmy. Again, the Regina is still going to allow me to special, because it was on the, because Regina's on summon, right? So Regina on summon is going to allow me to special an Elfnote. My big plan was try to go into Janora off of this one, just to perma negate the all the cards. So Janora, the Power Patron of Tuning, is a permanent negate of all face-up cards. So I am going to attempt to banish the top 3 and special summon the Janora Power Patron of Tuning, which is going to permanently negate all of his face-up cards. He is, of course, going to Whisker negate that, because that would be crazy. I will chain Harmonia in an attempt to just get rid of stuff. By revealing, I am trying to play the Crocodilo in this deck. I'm not sure how much I like it. I've never synchroed into it. Okay, so that's the thing. Going into this locals, my plan, like what I had practiced in my 24 hours of doing this, was make Crystal Wing, make Dawn Dragsta. When I was looking up Dawn and Omega, my boyfriend said, like, oh, it's called Dawn Dragster, and I thought it was Dawn, like the name Don, and so I was like, the Dawn, and so that's how I say it now. Malong, I go ahead and I send back the field spell. Oh, I'm about to learn something super important, because I thought I was going to have game on board, but it's not. It's not as easy as that. So Lucina is going to let me search. I'm going to Baby Burb. Oh, I don't Baby Burb. I Regina. I'm going to normal Medius. Now, Medius lets you special summon a Power Patron. Medius lets you special summon a Power Patron. And then I saw Vidolium. I saw Vidolium's big old body. And I was like, you look at me, I'm like 5K. And I'm like, wait, it says special. Oh, okay. It says special summon a power patron. You can't do this. We do find out this is illegal because when I go to battle, he's like, that's fine. And I was like, 5K. And this whole time I'm like, this seems busted. He's like, 5K. What do you mean 5K? And I was like, I think I can summon him, but that does seem busted. We asked our resident judge and my boyfriend, and he was like, well, you see, if you two read the card, it literally says it can only be summoned by sending like very, very explicit materials. And my boyfriend later found out because then he was playing Elfnote later in the day, and he thought Vidolium raised the attack of like all power patron monsters, because that's, I remember him telling me like, oh, you can go for game even under Terminus because you use Vidolium. And then I was the one who was like, wait, is Junora a level 12? And he goes, what do you mean a level 12? And I was like, oh, Vidolium says it has to be a level 12 in order to get the attack boost. And he was like, what? That's dumb. Vidolium's the only level 12. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. And then he apologized to the person he was playing against because he was like, I spent a lot of time like thinking because I thought I could do something that I literally couldn't do. Honestly, watching this back, it's so hard to try to like think through the choices I made after such like a crit. Like I should have still had June Pride up, and that would have made such a world of difference because then I could have summoned from hand, grave, and deck. But that was on me. Okay, this is me doing some quick math and realizing that I can't go into literally anything. There's a 7. Oh my gosh, yeah, look at me count. I'm like, no, I can't go into Chaos Angel. I guess, could I go into Chaos Angel with Medius and Lucina? No, because neither one of them is a tuner. Could I treat the Medius as a tuner? I just decided to go battle. I'm like, we'll just pop you for 300. And then whatever Harmonia is. I mean, I do a good chunk of damage. I think I could have got, oh my gosh, especially with June Pride out. June Pride is OTK, I'm pretty sure, because you get your 3, and then if you special, I'm pretty sure 4 of the girls is game because they're each 2K. So yeah, this was just, man. Okay, well, I need to make sure I remember that. I do a little more counting. Leo's being very patient as I'm counting and realizing that I don't think I can go into the Excel synchro, but I don't know what that's going to do is kind of what I say. And at this point, I'm feeling the peer pressure of, not even peer pressure, self-pressure. The self-pressure of having, like, taken so long counting stupid little stars that I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go. I do think doing the Excel synchro, though, maybe could have been something, because then the Stardust against Blitzclick could have been good. Because I'm just going to end up getting my stuff popped is what it's going to end up being. So he Whisker summons 2, and he's like, it's only 2. I'm so used to getting Murakumo. I was like, my whole board is wiped. He's going to go ahead and take those 2 out. I'm at 4,700, so we can see life points. This was more interactive. Okay, so this was my thing with playing Elfnote during this locals. I felt when I was playing Blitzclick, and I should give a little backstory. So Leo's going to activate Hideout and Gloom again. We're looking for a token. He's going to go ahead and give me a token in order to search, most likely Surge. So my boyfriend's been playing Elfnote for a really long time, and we play against each other constantly. So I have like osmosis Elfnote knowledge, like just from playing against it, versus Blitzclick, where going in so green and honestly just teaching myself. I'm not really one to watch content about it. Like I don't really learn that way. Like I have to do it. So watching people talk about it and watching people do the combos doesn't really stick well in my brain. Like I have to be the one to do it. And I felt like when I was playing, and that'll be game because they're all getting 500. I felt like when I was playing Blitzclick at the previous locals, I just didn't interact. Like, this game had back and forth. Definitely something I could have controlled by having Elfnote June Pride out. Easily could have, game would have gone different if I remembered what that card did, instead of having it be beaten over by the Whiska. So this was just more interactive. And for the amount of time I've spent on Elfnote, which was about the same amount. Well, I did more practice games in Omega than I did with Blitzclick when I brought Blitzclick. I don't like games of Yu-Gi-Oh! That feel very one-sided. And when I was playing Blitzclick at the previous locals, everything just felt extremely just one-sided. There was a side deck. Call me crazy for this because this might not be proper way of playing. I don't side when I'm learning a deck. I want to know what that deck does going first. I want to know what that deck does going second. Because that's the thing is, like, when you go to a tournament, even like a locals, like, there's no guarantee you're going to win the dice roll. So if I've not practiced, I just want to practice the deck as it is. So a side deck did exist for this deck. I did not use it because I simply did not. I just want to learn the deck as is. So I start off by doing Terminus. Terminus does lock me into only attacking with power patrons, but on turn 1, that's perfectly fine. I send Janora. I've since learned that sending the baby burb might be better, but also if the baby burb gets called by at any point, that definitely sucks. So baby burb, I'm looking at Medius and baby burb, and I am going to baby burb do its effect to increase its level, and then I can immediately synchro summon. Do I not chain Harmonia there? Oh, he doesn't control the Crackle yet. I can't chain Harmonia because the Crackle. See, all these things are activating in hand. So baby burb fizzles in terms of it's not able to raise its level and then immediately synchro. So I'm going to special Lucina. Lucina, search Regina. All my mean girls, my mean girl elf deck. Regina, I am looking to see what I can send. It has to be another Elfnote card. So I do Regina send Lucina to special summon herself, and then Regina is going to go ahead and let me special summon from deck. Gonna go ahead and chain Harmonia. That is the one thing Leo and I have talked about with running Harmonia in Blitzclick and also running all the pots, is that if you hit the synchros, like, or any of the good targets, it makes it difficult. So I didn't realize this was me learning. Well, first of all, I go, Tinia's not a non-summon effect. So if you have any triggers, and he has the Crackle trigger and then Pack Bit. I don't know why I thought, this is me reading my own Pack Bit. I thought Malong was the only one that triggered Engrave. So once I found out this Pack Bit, like, also, I knew it was a target for Harmonia. I started doing Pack Bit when I was playing against my boyfriend for the Ritual of Light and Darkness, because I was like, wait a second, you can just make their, like, Dark Magician, whatever, Chaos Luster Soldier into a spell trap in the continuous zone. That's crazy. Off of Crackle, Leo sends Return Stroke, which is going to let you, if you banish it from grave, return a Blitzclick monster. At this point, I got Jack. I think I have a Harmonia in hand. I've already activated a Terminus, so I just pass. I do think sequencing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is always important, but at the beginning of the video where I said I was going to get the meta was making me sad, it's more because I feel like there's some, I don't want to call them baby-proof decks, but kind of baby-proof decks with, like, if I mess up the sequence of Elfnote, it's not as punishing as, like, Blitzclick. I feel like you have to be, like, so on it with how you sequence stuff. So Pack Bit with Blitzclick is actually crazy because that's going to allow him off of, so he Hideout, searched Grain, pop my Tinia because it's now a spell. That's going to trigger the Crackle, which is going to allow him to send. This is also going to make Whisker live, and that is the daddy. That's the daddy of the deck. That one we definitely want to make sure that it triggers. He's going to go ahead and send a Hideout. Something I've been doing when playing Blitzclick since this is Grain popping the Hideout, because then if I have a way to pop something else, I can just add back the Hideout. So yeah, I got Blitzclicked, y'all. I got Blitzclicked. Definitely had to have patience myself of, like, okay, I'm learning the deck, and then add in the fact that I definitely the June Pride. And then we go game 2. Game 2 is against Daniel. You guys actually are going to get to see what Daniel's deck does because I made sure to film it appropriately. I won the dice roll. I'm going to go first. Start with Terminus. You're going to notice that when I am doing these lines, I'm being very repetitive because, again, as I'm learning the deck, I'm kind of just trying to go through the motions. I don't have a lot of mental room for how I am thinking through different scenarios. I'm just being like, okay, Terminus, send Junora, normal, the medius, special, the baby burb. I think I try. Oh, this is it. So Daniel's played for a really long time. And so this was me lamenting the fact that I'm like, I've never played synchros. And so like, I want to apologize in advance. You're going to see me doing this stupid little counting thing all the time. I try to make Crystal Wing and he goes, okay, learning moment, learning lesson. You can't, because it needs a synchro as material. And I go, oh, okay. Thank you, Daniel. I'm sorry. What other 8s can I make? And I believe at this point, the Excel Dragon is, yep, my choice. So Excel Dragon, we're going to bring back the baby burb. And then baby burb, how am I searching? Oh, because baby burb was sent as a, okay, so it was chain 1, bring back baby burb. No, chain 1, search, because baby burb was sent as synchro material. Chain 2, resummon it off of the Excel Dragon. I searched Tinia. This is, I think, the first one that you need to do. Welcome Home is going to send, I believe it is for cost, so I send the Tinia, that gets ashed. I have the Lucina, so I now know that I should be safe. Well, I am safe because I would have gotten drolled after baby burb search. So Lucina, I'm going to go ahead and search, and most likely I will end up grabbing the Regina. I'm going to go ahead and make Strelitzia. Strelitzia, bring back the baby burb because that's what we need to synchro with. And now I can make Crystal Wing. The Excel Dragon, I think I need to kind of work on my ability to learn from watching videos because I realize that other people have done this. Like it's something I see in deck lists. I don't know what to synchro into. I don't know what to synchro because that's the thing. In order to get Stardust out, you then have to synchro. We're going to go ahead and do the classic hand rip of Regina, send the Welcome Home, special the Tinia, immediately Tinia. We're going to go ahead and get rid of, that looks like Red Rain. I have the trap set because for some reason I didn't get the Fortuna out. But I feel like I ended on a decent board. I mean, I have Crystal Wing. I got a hand rip. I do have the trap set. Crimson Gaia. I'm going to go ahead and Ash Blossom that. And this is me trying to count to be like, even if I excel synchro, there's nothing I can go into. If anyone has any tips for cards to add that you can after making Stardust synchro into, let me know. I think I need the baby burb though. Like I think without baby burb, because you need a tuner, it's just it's not going to do anything. I wish I could explain what Daniel's doing, but I can't. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like he explained it to me as he was, walking through the combos and what was going on. And I was just like, can I do this? And then I would do this. And then I would do this. So I'm going to go ahead and negate using the trap. And then at that point, he's like, you know what? We're going to go to game 2 because apparently whatever was in his hand was not going to also get over the Crystal Wing. So again, I chose not to side. But this is what I'm talking about where watching all of these games back makes me feel like, oh, yeah, girl, you just learned this deck. Like, there's so many things that I'm like, how did I not get Fortuna out? How did I not remember June Pride's the whole thing? How did this not, like, just the learning curve, right? But that's what I'm saying about the meta that sometimes makes me, like, I'm feeling a little sad about the meta because it's kind of baby-proofed. Like, these are the type of decks that, you're not going to pick up Elfnote. Like if you see Elfnote make top 32 at Nats, right? You're not going to pick up Elfnote and that means you're going to make top 32. You're not going to pick up couldnt and think you're going to make top 8. But I think what makes these decks where more people are playing them and where you can have success with them is the fact that they don't punish you as much for messing up. If I can just figure out how to get to Crystal Wing, which is honestly a Strelitzia and then the Baby Bird, which is not that difficult to do, that's a decent end board. Like, and then if you have hand traps, right? Like I'll hand trap, I'll just ash that one immediately. I don't know what it does, but I'll ash it because I know that most likely if I stop a search, sometimes it can have like a really big effect on something. Blitz Click is not very forgiving. If you choose to pop the wrong thing, if there's a reason that something gets negated, if you have your whisker on field instead of in hand and it gets, forbidden chaliced, if it gets impermed, like, I just feel like they're less forgiving decks. So with Elfnote, I know that I can definitely get much better at it. And watching this back where I'm saying it's like, oh, okay, yeah, definitely. But the hard part is like, I do think Blitzclick is such a fun deck and I do want to play it more, but messing up is so much more punishing, I feel like. So that's where I felt like it was a very I wasn't able to play the game. It didn't feel like they were interactive games versus with Elfnote, which yes, I did not play this perfectly by any means. I think there's a lot I still have left to learn with this deck, but I was able to have interactive games and do not terribly because it just feels like a more forgiving deck. Back to Daniel. He's got a red guy. He's got a little red and green guy, and I think that's Crimson Gaia. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull up life points because at this point it looks like we are going to have a back and forth where I will be taking some damage during his turn 1. I think, is this the red Archfiend deck? I'm not entirely sure if that's necessarily what it's called. He's going to synchro. So I did ash something and I was able to Harmonia and Malong. So I have done 3 interruptions and, seems like this deck has quite a few pushes in order for it to keep going. At this point, I have no more interaction, so this is just kind of thinking through, okay, what is going to be on the end board? What do I have to deal with? I think the hardest things in my very limited time playing Elfnote, things that really stop me is if the center zone gets clogged. So if I special Tinia, Tinia effect Welcome Home, and it gets impermed, and if I don't have a Regina in hand, if I don't have a Medius to normal, if I don't have a Terminus, that's the thing though about Elfnote where I'm saying like it's forgiving in that sense. So let's say I special Tinia gets impermed. Okay, my middle zone's clogged. I can't special Lucina, can't special. Well, you have Medius, you normal. That's going to get you out of that situation. You have Baby Burb, you normal, you synchro. That can get you out of that situation. You have Terminus to search. That can get you out of that situation. Regina, sending the Tinia. That can get you out of that situation. There's a lot of things that can happen. I'm going to go ahead and Forbidden Crown the synchro. Another thing with learning the deck, we're going to have Daniel and I have the conversation next turn because I'm like, wait, didn't I crown that? And it was like, that was last turn because I just start forgetting what's going on. So Tinia will get banished, but the effect will go through. This is something that I would have to check. I'm not sure if Daniel could have banished it before I activated the effect or if it was on effect activation because again, Regina is the only one with an on summon. I had the conversation after this tournament though about being like, hey, I don't think a lot of people realize that those like, what do I like tell them like, hey, this isn't on summon? What my boyfriend recommended and what he's been doing playing Elfnote is, and just a good habit, after every summon, if you don't, so either saying like, okay, on summon, effect to search, so like Regina, or effect to summon, like Regina, And then with Tinia, so like Fortuna, and then saying anything on summon. And then give them a moment instead of just, okay, special Fortuna. And then I'll pause and then I'll be like, Fortuna to do the trap. And so there's the assumption that it is an on summon effect. So that might have been something that could have, because not getting the Welcome Home definitely would have caused issue. Welcome Home is definitely a very important card. So had Tinia been banished prior to effect activation. So at this point, I have the trap, which if I control a synchro, which hoping to keep the crystal wing up, is going to be a negate of any face-up card. And then I have the Fortuna. I'm going to go ahead and pass. At this point, I'm like, I think I've done everything I need to do. And I will go ahead and just do myself a fun little hand drip. It's really funny watching this back, just how I'm like, so, you know, I'm going to do the same thing. This is... This is Reina's combo line. Hand rip. He had the one card in hand. Magnema effect at end phase in order to search. So at this point, I think I Rhapsodia'd to negate. I'm thinking he might have tried to do the Gaia. But it does not destroy, it simply negates. Also, now that I have Baby Burb in the center, I could go into June Pride again by raising its level by 3 and then immediately synchroing. That also works if you have any Elf Note, because June Pride is a 10. So you raise the 6 by 3 to get a 9, plus 1 is 10. You raise the 1 by 3 to get a 4. I believe I do activate the Baby Burb. Or I'm explaining what the Baby Burb can do. Oh yeah, this was me being like, wait, wasn't... Oh, okay. It's coming back to me. I'm pretty sure somehow the Crystal Wing gets negated because it does have that super secret effect that when it battles a level over whatever, it's going to gain attack. So the Crystal Wing got negated. If someone can in the comments tell me how it got negated, because I don't remember. And it's probably based, I'm guessing it's the trap card. I do go ahead and go into the Pride during main 2. And I gain special from hand, deck, grave. They do have to be different. I do not believe I have anything in hand at this point, though. So we'll do Strelitzia and Lucina. Strelitzia in the middle is beefy in attack or defense. And then Strelitzia has the quick effect where I can summon an Elf Note from grave. So I do decide to go ahead and chain that. And I will summon out probably Baby Burb. Ooh, I do Tinia. So okay. So watching this back, end of main. Yeah, okay. So I had to do that end of main. And then we go battle phase. If I did that during the battle phase, that was illegal. But I'm pretty sure when he tried to go battle, I was like, oh, wait, hold on. Before we go forward, I'll end of main, make all this stuff. Because June Pride is a main phase only. And so is Baby Burb. So at this point, I'm at half of my life. And I'm going to have to figure out how to clear all of this stuff. This was me going, wait, didn't I crown this? He goes, that was last turn. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm forgetful. My brain at this point is like oozing out of my ears because trying to learn new decks is just always so much. Okay, so at this point, I will get my turn back. But I have to figure out how to get through all of this. I do have the Rhapsody of Madness in order to like immediately negate something and summon something back. And that is a lot on the board. I could crimson, what's it called? The dragon, the black rose dragon, I think is what it's called, to just blow everything up. Let me know if I couldn't have done that, because I don't know if anything protects. I'm pretty sure I don't do that, because I also have stuff on the board that I do not want to get blown up, but stuff is getting added back, stuff is getting synchroed, stuff is getting summoned because they control other things that can be summoned. I have played against this deck now, I believe, 4 times. And last week, when I was on Blitzclick, and I just got completely blown out. So don't really have much memory of that. And then this week, again, still trying to learn a new deck. I was like mentally not able to remember what is happening, but alas. Dragon stuff, synchros, banishing my stuff. So Fortuna's banished. How do I get through all of this? That's the other fun part, is I watch these back on recording and I'm like, what did I do? It's fun for me too, because I get to I get to figure out, these videos are also really nice for me because I get to learn kind of from my own. I wouldn't be filming myself or watching the footage back if it wasn't for all of you. So thank you. Gives me something to do. And I feel like it does make me better at the game. Okay, bunch of stuff has been bistroled or just in general banished off of this deck. Okay, pass. Massive board. I mean, I'm not entirely sure what all this does, but that's a lot of cards. And I have a Magnemite. And then I have, I believe, a talent. So I'm going to go ahead and Rhapsody of Madness. I'm going to send the Magnemite to Special the Strelitzia. And that's going to change something to pop. And I scoop it up. I don't get through it. Is there any way I could have Black Rose Dragoned to try to pop through all of this stuff? Let me know in the comments if you saw any way that I could have sequenced stuff better. I also think definitely when I was choosing to do things, again, timing is so important in Yu-Gi-Oh! And as someone who's just learning the deck, the timing was not necessarily always there. So we're going to go to game 3. I think at this point we had maybe like 12 minutes and Daniel's like, do I have time to side? And I was like, yeah, you're good. I will not be siding because, you know, for a really long time when I first started playing Yu-Gi-Oh, I said I don't believe in sides. I said, your deck should just be good enough. What do you mean? I just love to rage bait people. I was like, what do you mean you need a side deck? Like, do you not believe in your deck enough? So as you can see, just already, if you watched my Taking Blitzclick to Locals video, it was so not interactive. I felt like it was just not, it was not interactive. There were so many non-games or just games where I felt like I just didn't really accomplish much or was just getting too old. And so already, while I was confused and definitely feeling like, okay, I'm kind of in, you know, do the Tinia hand rip, try to make Crystal Wing, you know, not doing anything crazy plays. I felt like it was at least more interactive. So game 3, I'm going to choose to go first. And the goal is full combo. And for me, full combo is the Don Dragsta and Crystal Wing. Medius, we're going to go ahead. And at this point, I could do Omega, but I was really nervous to do Omega in order to hand rip. So we're going to bring back the Baby Power Patron. Power Patron is going to allow me to search because it was used as synchro material. Tinia is going to allow me to place the spell. Welcome home. I am going to, I believe, send the Tinia in order to summon, if I had to guess, I'm going to summon Regina. I do wonder if there's a purpose of having Regina in hand and doing the Regina effect and then using it as synchro material, because it will get added back to hand when I use it as synchro material, but then I don't get to do the effect to special it again, which might be good. We'll go into Strelitzia. Regina's going to go ahead and add herself back to hand. I got the Fortuna out off of the Regina, so that way I could set the Rhapsodia of Madness. And then Strelitzia is going to summon Baby Burb, special Lucina. Lucina, I'm going to go ahead and just search another Regina. So I guess I technically at this point with searching Regina could do the Regina again. Using the Baby Burb and Strelitzia is going to let me go into Crystal Wing. We're bringing the Baby Burb back, and I get the Dawn Dragster. So see, I did what I needed to do. I have the Trap up, I have Dawn Dragster up, I have Crystal Wing up, I have the Excel Dragon that I have no idea what to do with up. I have Fortuna for some reason. She's chilling, hanging there. I have Welcome Home. I have Regina in hand. Guess what I'm going to do, folks? It's so funny watching this back, but I do this every single time. Oh, so I'm like, okay, Regina's activating in hand to special. And he's like, okay, just checking. And we switch it. And then we hand rip. Get the called by. So at this point, I have a pretty beefy board. And I have Fortuna to send back like a field spell, or continuous spells are the best bet for that, because then they're not going to resolve because they have to stay on field to resolve. I also have Dawn Dragster as a spell negate. I have Crystal Wing, which I will immediately use because I don't know what Daniel's deck does, but I do know once it gets going, it is exceptionally difficult to try to get through. So I want to try to stop that before anything too crazy can happen. Able to still get out 2 monsters in order to synchro. See, okay, so when I was playing, I need to upload this footage. I was practicing Blitzclick against Elfnote because I realized that Blitzclick against Elfnote, I definitely don't feel as like wrecked with versus when I'm playing the ritual deck. And my boyfriend used Excel to get the Omega out, which was crazy, absolutely insanity. So at this point with that synchro, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and chain the Rhapsody of Madness. All my monsters get Dark Rulered, which is fine. And then in order to Foolish Burial, I Ash it. And so even with all of that, I have enough monsters out that I win match 2. So match 1, Blitzclick got it. Match 2, Elfnote got it. And then what better way to end a tournament than the way they always end when I get paired up against my boyfriend in match 3. Okay, so my boyfriend is playing Rolad with Mitsurugi. Decided to play at this tournament. So like I said, the previous tournament he brought S-Force, I brought Blitzclick, and we were just like, oh, whatever, we're gonna mess around. And then we found out there was a regional coming up, and it's like, well, maybe let's like lock in like a little. The dice roll, I was like, no, that was a 6. And he goes, no, it wasn't. And I go first. I bully my way into going first. So I had played against Rolad 2 times with Elfnote, literally right before we came to the tournament. That's why I said it kind of made me a little sad, because practicing against it with Blitzclick just felt like such an insane uphill battle. And Leo on Blitzclick also played against my boyfriend in this tournament and had a similar sentiment of like, ooh, that felt rough. It felt rough. So, you know, my game also went kind of rough. I Regina to Regina, and on the effect to special, I got ashed. So if you're like, whoa, what happened to your turn? Yeah. I got ashed. So my mind is about to get shuffled and my board is about to get blown up. I do have, I believe, a Harmonia though. And that was kind of where I was like, well, let's see what we can do. I will show you my hand at the end of this. I did pretty well against the Rolad deck when I was practicing it. But okay, so you can see 4 cards of my hand. I had 2 Ashes and 2 Reginas. This was a hand that was doomed from the beginning. I think the last card I have in hand is Harmonia, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can Harmonia to at least attempt to save myself. Yep. So my opening hand was Regina, Ash, and Harmonia. So this was just really unfortunate. I have made the decision with Elfnote that, so we're currently both building the deck, meaning my boyfriend already has the deck built. We are sharing Harmonias, so we are in the process of acquiring more Harmonias. So I can also have Elfnote built. In my version of Elfnote, I want to do 2 Welcome Homes and 2 Bedoliums. I feel like it bricks. I'm not sure. I don't know. I know it has a lot of 1-card starters, and it can be really powerful with just like a card, but I feel like it kind of bricks. So I Harmonia, we pop, we send. But I mean, with the hand I had, pretty sure it's just not even pretty sure. It was one of those, we had the conversation where it's like, this is super unfortunate. Like, that was just a really rough hand. We like to talk after games of like, what could you have done? What did you have? What could have been done in order to get better, in order to do better, have better plays, better lines, not play into certain things. And this was one of those hands where it's like, oh, I don't know if I could have done anything. Actually, I'm going to look it up. What level is Ash? Because I know she's a tuner. Could I have unironically normaled Ash and then tried to synchro into anything? Ash Blossom Yu-Gi-Oh! While he does his full combo, which will obviously murk me. She's a level 3 tuner. Fire. So I could have gone into a level 9. Does anyone have any recs for level 9? For level 9 synchros, because I'm pretty sure I don't have a single level 9 in my deck. At this point, he's like, let me just try out. He's trying the synchro lines of stuff. And yeah, access code goes for game. So this was us having the conversation, and was dirt on the cards. So I'm trying to wipe it off. I was like, yeah, with that hand, I'm not entirely sure what I could have done. That was just unfortunate. If there was a level 9 synchro, I could have synchroed into. Oh, here's where we have the conversation. He goes, do you want to side? And I go, no, I haven't been siding. I go, not only have I not been siding, the side deck's been in your deck box the entire time. He was like, why didn't you ask for it? And I was like, because I don't want it. Oh, I collected some more Harpy cards for my Harpy collection. I should show you. Well, my pretty binder does have more cards in it, but I might need to do an updated little collection. But I got some Harpy cards for my Harpy collection because I love the Harpies. If you didn't know that, they're like my favorite. I want to collect as many as possible. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with Bedolium. Pop to add. I'm going to go ahead and get Terminus. Looks like he has double Fua. Terminus search. That is going to be good. We're going to go ahead and get Midioso to special from deck. And he chains Fua. And I'm like, do I have to special or could I add? And he was like, well, you could add. And I'm like, maybe this is the time where I add it so that way you don't get the draw. This is me thinking, because I already have a burb in hand. I have a singular burb, so I could instead add Junaldo. And that's what I decided to do, to not give him the draw instead of specialing more Harpy cards. I'm going to go ahead and add it to hand. And then I believe I scale Junaldo. And then Junaldo will let me special. I'm going to go ahead and special Regina by sending the baby burb. That will then trigger Junaldo. So Regina will trigger. Oh, the double Fua. Regina will trigger 2 special from deck. And then Junaldo will trigger 2, I believe, special from hand or grave, which is where I sent baby burb. I half jokingly, I remember asking him, being like, do I have, what am I, sorry. So I thought that this Junaldo effect was banishing the top 3. And he was like, no. It pops itself and you get to draw 2, discard 1. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. So we put it back together. I'm going to discard the effect Veiler. I go, do I have to resolve the Regina? Like, I don't want to now that you double Fluid. And he was like, yeah, you do. That's not really not really a choice. So 2 draws, Fortuna to place the trap. Doesn't Junaldo have a when it goes trigger to special? Okay, I do talents, draw 2. I feel like I might have missed a Junaldo trigger on this one. Because I know I did the draw 2, but I'm pretty sure it should have specialed from grave. I set 1 pass. I definitely think I could have done more. While he's comboing off, I am going to go on my phone and look up Junaldo, because I think I missed another trigger, which would have made, this one also would have made a big difference, or like just missed not knowing exactly what my card did. Because if I could have summoned from grave, I had Baby Burb. Let's see. If this card is added to your extra deck, you can add 1 pair. Oh, you add it to your hand. Okay, never mind. You add it to your hand. So I might have added something back to hand. I don't recall seeing if I did or not. It wouldn't have really made that much of a difference, honestly. So in order to not give him 2 draws, I feel like this is the second time he's double fooed me. He double fooed me one time when I was playing Fairy Tale as well. I think I'm calling conspiracy. I'm calling conspiracy theory on this one. In order to not give him like a ton of draws, I end on the trap. I end on a Forbidden Crown set to, make it so he cannot tribute that beautiful Starlight Murakumo, which came from my binder. Yeah. I'm the keeper of all Starlights. And I'll share when necessary. I don't know, if he tries to Murakumo on my board one more time, I might take it back. I might be like, you know what? I can't stand to look at my beautiful reptilian, purple man, woman, snake thing, humanoid, one more time if it's going to blow up my board. So I do have the crown, which I'm like, oh, hopefully this stops you a little bit. I do have the Fortuna, which I'm realizing that, honestly, I kept Fortuna up for Mind Shuffle because all the other spells are going to resolve whether they're on the field or not. I will not control a synchro for Rhapsodia. I do have an Effect Veiler. Oh, so funny story about these Effect Veilers. So I like shiny. My boyfriend likes like original printings, first ed original printing. So he has gotten original printing Effect Veilers. And when we were practicing before coming to the tournament, because I'm currently using his deck, mine is like, I'm waiting on my cards. I had to order some Reginas. I had to order a Lucina. I have most of it. There's like the extra deck was honestly some of the stuff I had to get. So I have my Effect Veilers in my deck, and he has his Effect Veilers in his. Anyway, so this Effect Veiler, it says select. And so when we were practicing before coming here, I had the Effect Veiler in my hand, and I go, I need to consult the ancient text. And I opened up my binder to look at my modern Effect Veilers that say target. So the joke now is I'm like, you just keep giving me bad cards. You keep making me play with the Effect Veilers that don't target and aren't quick effects. And he just got in a Cyframe Omega original, which also doesn't say quick effect on it. And I was like, okay, so we're just going to keep, like, whenever I play against Rolad, you want to make sure I have the stuff that's not quick effects and doesn't target, right? That's exactly what you want. And so my autistic brain was very easily like, it doesn't say target. I can't just be like select. So he goes ahead and he attacks into Power Patron, and I use this little maneuver that I learned from watching Nats. Did you know, because I didn't, and I don't think my boyfriend did because he never used it against me, that if one of your Power Patron monsters battles, that like before damage calculation, you can banish that monster. So he attacked into Baby Burb, which is why I put Baby Burb in the middle, because I was like, of course, he's going to do it. He's going to try for Baby Burb. But my Baby Burb struck back, and I lived because Murakumo can't attack because we're both freezing again. Murakumo can't attack because it was crowned. Habakiri is going to get banished. And he has to then swing over. He swings over my defenses. Oh, someone said 6-7. So, Terminus, I am going to discard the called by because he chains Murakumo to make me discard unless I want it to get negated. So, Terminus, I'm like, I guess I'll search another Medius, and I'm going to normal the Medius and try to search. And it's like, okay. I'm like, I'm going to get the baby Burb. And I'm going to count. I'm going to count and be like, wow, I can't make anything. Because I already I decided to special. I do have the thought of like, do I keep it in hand? And I was like, no, I got a special. And then I'm like, okay, I can increase his level. And with this, I can make the Excel, or I think I can make the Omega. But I decided to make Excel, bring back Baby Burb. Baby Burb was used as synchro material, so I will search Regina, and it's not going to do jack. Why did I search Regina? Oh, because I'm on autopilot. We had the conversation where like already searching Regina was bad. I should have literally searched anything else. Also, doing the Excel also didn't seem like the play. Like there wasn't a reason. I think I could have just gone into Strelitzia instead. So this was just me again. So this is the difference, I feel, like watching and commentating over this locals versus the locals where I was playing Blitzkrieg. I feel like there was different lines of play. I feel like there was very easy things to point out. Like, yes, the Blitzkrieg locals, like when I just completely brain died to Lance and just passed the turn without even attempting anything. Like, yeah, that was something to point out. But it's like, yeah, this line of play, doing the Strelitzia, I would have had way more options. Right now, I literally am just sitting on you can't blow up my board with Murakumo and like a super energetic librarian. That's what I'm sitting on right now, which is not going to be enough. I mean, I do have the Regina in hand in case. That's the thing is I should have searched Lucina. I just definitely went into like, oh, when Baby Burb goes, I search Regina. Regina is the thing you search. I should have searched a different elf note because I could have Lucina'd and then I could have special Lucina. I could have searched Regina and then I could have done Regina. Like there's away from doing the Stardust play, which I think was bad. The Regina search was also not great at all. Honestly, I think the reason I did this was because the Excel Dragon was confusing me about like, well, what do you even synchro into? And I saw that I could go into Hyper Librarian. So I was like, okay, we'll just do that. So we were having the conversation about like, well, yeah, like maybe if you did Strelitzia instead. And I was like, no, like I'm fine. We're going to banish. And at that point, going to super poly with my own things. And then I believe he can get 8K on board. He's doing the math. Because I think he just has to get the access code, allied code. The code gets dark. Dark is going to... I think he doesn't target anything to bring back with dark. But Ritual of Light and Darkness will add itself back. Now dark, you can get my Hyper Librarian, and then this should be game. So this was us talking again about how the Excel Dragon line, and then also I think searching Regina was just not great. Before we give it back to past Reina to talk about her experience, hopefully these are helpful. And I won 1, lost 2, did the same as I did with Blitzkrieg, but I felt a lot more, interactive and stuff. So yeah, thanks for joining us for another locals. Okay. I didn't do any. I actually did worse at this. No, I did the same at this locals that I did when I brought Blitzkrieg. In the sense that I won 1 game. But I felt like I did more.
Yeah, placings are not everything.
Placings aren't everything, says the person who got first place. So that's crazy. Got a winner's pack, a 1-for-1. And yeah, I mean, I felt like more successful with Elfnote. I will say game 1, Leo blitzed the click. So that deck also is good. I just might be bad. But I feel like I'm I'm learning Elfnote. I felt like I was doing things. I didn't feel like last week where I brought Blitzkrieg and I just got like blown out. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep practicing Elfnote and hopefully get better with it. Maybe good enough to play it at a regional. We'll see. So it's night times now. The sun went down while we were in there. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.